Good day. The state television company of Western Armenia represents all the most important events of these days. Today's broadcast, 90th Zoom meeting of candidates for the parliamentary elections to the National Assembly of Western Armenia, Sons of Western Armenia, Gurgen Dalibaltayan, on the issue of the Armenians of Western Armenia. The Tatoyan Foundation has filed a class action lawsuit in Washington against Mohamad Reza Waziri, CEO of Anglo-Asian Mining Company, in connection with Baku's ongoing blockade of Artsakh. Wake Up World, Stop the Genocide in Artsakh and the blockade. San Bartholomew monastery in Adamakert is about to be destroyed. Gyumri invites to Pan-Armenian Vardavar. On July 13, 2023, the 90th Zoom meeting of the National Assembly election campaign was held in Armenian. The theme of the meeting was National Education and Western Armenia. At the Zoom meeting, the President of the Republic of Western Armenia, Bartholomew, mentioned that at all times the thinking layer of humanity has stressed the importance of language and the preservation of its integrity. Language is the history of the people. Language is the path to civilization and culture. So the study and preservation of Western Armenian, the state language of Armenia, is not an idle activity but an urgent necessity. The Zoom meeting's keynote speaker Marieta Domikyan presented in detail the problems of classical Western Armenian orthography and Eastern Armenian ethnography in Armenian studies. The parliamentary candidate mentioned that we Armenians bear the greatest responsibility as we are the sole bearers of the exclusive language, and we must pass on the golden Armenian, which has survived thousands of years, to future generations, overcoming the temptation to look fashionable. Gurgen Dalibaltayan was born on June 5, 1926. From 1934 to 1944, he studied at the Gorelovka School. From 1944 to 1945, he studied at the Makhachkala Infantry School. In 1947, he graduated from the Tbilisi Infantry Academy. From 1956 to 1961, he studied at Moscow's Frunze State University in the Military Academy branch. In 1969, he graduated from Frunze in advanced staff training attached to the Military Academy. In 1976, he became Marshal of the Soviet Union, student of the higher academic courses of the Common Staff attached to the General Staff Academy, named after Vorshilov. In 1978, he became Marshal of the Soviet Union, student of the Construction and Management of Armed Forces postgraduate course attached to the General Staff Academy, named after Vorshilov. In 1991 to 1994, he took part in drawing up battle plans of self-defense and liberation operations in Nagorno-Karabakh, personally led operations to liberate Khojalu, open the Berdzor humanitarian corridor, conduct the Goris Berdzor military operation, and neutralize Kilbajar firing posts. Armenian cuisine is rich in different types of food to suit all tastes. The fact that Armenia is a carnivorous country has in its cuisine an indispensable dish for vegetarians and especially vegans. Zhengal bread is an anytime food that is not only healthy but also filling. Evidence of Zhengalov bread dates back to ancient times. The simplicity of this dish is thought to describe its importance. It is thought that this dish was an integral part of the table of the poor or the salvation of the war-weary population. Zhengalov bread is made on the territory of the Republic of Armenia in the Artsakh, Kapan, and Goris regions of the Sunnik area. One of the characteristics of the dish is that the herbs found in the dish are region-specific. They are found only in that region, and the plants that replace them do not have the same taste and smell to make the dish. Zhingalo bread, which means bread with green vegetables, is also called penjar bread due to the presence of penjar nettle in its composition, which also causes itching and irritation to the touch by humans, has healing properties. In Western Armenian, this dish is called vegetable bread because of the variety of green vegetables. Zhengal bread is made by old women who put all their strength and energy into it. Traditionally, only elderly women were allowed to make zhengal bread, and the secrets of its manufacture were passed on the new brides or young girls who came to their homes. Making bread with zhengal is considered a unique ritual, during which the whole family gathers around the fire and enjoys the queen of the table. The Tatoyan Foundation for Law and Justice, in partnership with the law firm of Kerkonyan Dajan, has filed a class action lawsuit in Washington against Mohamad Reza Waziri, CEO of Anglo-Asian Mining Company, over Azerbaijan's ongoing blockade of Artsakh. The complaint alleges that defendant Waziri aided and abetted the violation of the Protection of Victims of Torture Act and aided and abetted the false imprisonment of Artsakh Armenians in order to access and secure Artsakh's precious metals, mining mining operation. The case is called Dalibaltayan Waziri and concerns around 120,000 people who were subjected to continuous suffering for 7 months under physical isolation and blockade by Azerbaijan. Attorneys Arman Tatoyan, Garnik Erkonyan, Elizabeth Aldajani, Ani Nazarian, Laura Seferian Karohazarian. On the initiative of the Union of Journalists of Armenia and Armenian Media, Wake Up World, Stop the Genocide in Artsakh, Stop the Blockade campaign with which we raise our voice in defense of our compatriots in Artsakh. We call on all Armenian media in Armenia and around the world, individual media, international and Armenian media organizations, independent journalists, bloggers to join the campaign by spreading this statement, posting the following banners on media and social media pages until the way of life connects Artsakh to Armenia is open. The Azerbaijani blockade of Artsakh, which has lasted for more than 6 months and now with its complete isolation has led an extreme humanitarian crisis. 120,000 people in Artsakh live every day under the threat of physical annihilation, loss of their homeland, ethnic cleansing, deprivation of their homes and cradles. Every day the situation worsens and the crisis threatens human destiny, with people living in conditions of real danger to their lives, being under daily armed siege from Azerbaijan with no possibility of medical assistance. The international community's declaratory calls to disengage Artsakh have no practical consequences, and Azerbaijan continues its anti-human and criminal policy of ethnic cleansing of Artsakh unhindered. From now on, Armenian media will publish this alert addressed to international organizations, political, scientific, cultural, religious circles of the countries and the world on the front pages of their websites and newspapers, trying to draw the attention of all those who place human life above any geopolitical or economic gain. With this initiative, we, media representatives, are taking a step forward in the urgent task of saving human lives. Tomorrow, it may be too late. St. Bartholomew's Armenian monastery in the Adamakert region of Van in the 1990s until 2013 served as a police station. The monastery, destroyed by treasure thieves, is now used as a barn and goldsmith's workshop. The historic monastery, which has not been restored and was destroyed through neglect, is in danger of disappearing. St. Bartholomew's monastery in the village of Al-Bayrak was founded in the 4th century. It is believed that St. Bartholomew's, one of the 12 disciples of Christ mentioned in the New Testament, was buried here. Before the First World War, the monastery was used by Armenians living in the area, but in 1915, following the genocide committed against the Armenians, the monastery's congregation was forcibly exiled from the region, and the monastery was left to the whims of fortune. The monastery, of great importance to the Armenian community, is now on the brink of destruction. Residents of the village of Al-Bayrak have reported that cattle from surrounding villages occasionally under the monastery graze there and damage the structures. The villagers expressed their concern at the situation and demanded that the monastery be placed under protection as soon as possible. Radvan Yigit, a research archaeologist living in Van, points out that most of the historic buildings in the area have been destroyed for lack of sufficient government support. According to him, the Turkish state does not allocate a budget for restoration work, and historical and cultural buildings are being destroyed day by day. On July 16 at 1 p.m., the Gyumri Community Hall invites everyone to the town of their birth to take part in the Pan-Armenian Vardavar. Today, we offer you to get acquainted with the history of the most beloved summer holiday. Vardavar is one of the 5 great holidays of the Armenian Apostolic Church, preceded by Shabbat HaPach, and the next Monday is the day of commemoration of the deceased. Vardavar was still celebrated by pagan Armenians, honoring Artsakh, the goddess of water, love, beauty, and Anahit, the goddess of fertility. On the day of the holiday, the peasants mostly completed field work and thanked the goddesses for the rains and harvest. They also asked to protect the fields from drought, insects, and various disasters. The villagers went to the nearby mountains, rivers, and springs, offered sacrifice, gave ears of corn on the pagan Mehyans, decorated the house and animals with flowers and tree branches. They also celebrated the holiday by preparing special dishes, giving each other flowers and flying pigeons, but the festivities were not limited on this and continued with fairs, feasts, songs and dances and games. According to Christian tradition, the holiday is associated with Jesus Christ and is called Transfiguration Day. Christ ascends Mount Tabor with his disciples. The apostles fall asleep from fatigue and heat, and light descends on Christ, illuminating the entire mountain. The apostles witness the transfiguration of their teacher. Thank you for your time and attention. Now the musical part, the Armenian folk song.
երկրից ու թուրքներ վայրակ օգտվեց առիթից կոտորեց ազգս տիրացավ երկրից հայեր միացեք հայեր Արցախն է մեզ կանչում օգնության հասնենք հայեր միացեք հայեր Արցախն է մեզ կանչում օգնության հասնենք դեռ ճամփա ունի պիտ հասնենք սասուն